it feels,
because we were already close, but I don't know, it just brought us
yeah,
closer.
yeah, we
I
were
think we just
close, but just it
yeah,
just it's just
and then especially through your personal moments that you're going through, we just know
yeah.
like you needed us to kind of rally around you.
And it just means so much to see how people love on your child, to
Yeah,
treat your child like like he's their own, right? It
yeah.
just it I'm obsessed with him, so I love the fact that you have an obsession, Jamel has an obsession. I'm like,
I was
how
in the delivery room,
yes,
okay.
you were. Yes, you were like, that baby, he got a full head of hair. You were like, the doctor said you ready. You and Raymond said, I see it. I see it.
I looked up, I was down, I was like, he's there.
He's there. He's
He's
coming.
there.
Are you ready? Because he's coming. Oh my God. What an
I
experience.
kept going back up to your head, back down. I was just so excited. I was like, oh my God, Crystal's here. Like,
He's here, baby. We done waited many moons for him. He's
mm-hmm.
here. Mm-hmm.
So I also want to touch base on, I think you bring it up quite often, um, how your feelings always were hurt because Jalvin always called you for like one thing. And I think that's for quite a few of us,
Yeah.
even our parents.
Yeah.
Um, just to
Yeah.
feel like we have such a dynamic, even
hmm
between me and you and Jamel, me and Jamel.
Yeah.
Yes. Because we call each other, we could talk about damn near
Yeah.
anything and be on the phone for quite a while. Whereas one of our siblings only calls us
It feels
when in
like it
dire need.
when in need. Yeah. My mom taught me this. My mom taught me that, and not because she sat me down and had the lesson, but she through our experience that I could hurt her feelings, right? Like, and I think we forget that being the kids or being younger, that you can
Right.
hurt feelings going up, right? Like,
Yeah.
just because I'm your older sibling, just because they're your parents, your mom, your dad,
Mhm.
doesn't mean that they are equipped to deal with everything that comes their way, right? And
Mhm.
that's why I try not to give so much judgment to our parents, because, baby, I was not in their shoes when they had us, and I
Right.
was not making the decisions that they made as we were growing up, right? And we can always look back and say, I wouldn't have done this. You don't know what you would have done if you'd have been in this situation. But
Right.
I do know that I have the ability to hurt our dad's feelings, my mom's feelings, uncles, aunties, big cousin,
Yeah.
whoever. And so I have gotten my feelings hurt by my baby brother, because I want to have this closeness in this relationship with him,
Mhm.
because he was my first sibling. He was my first baby sibling by
Yeah.
blood,
By
right? From the
blood.
same dad.
Right. Right.
Um, and it sucks that we're not as close as I would like us to be,
Right.
but it hurts knowing that we kind of both want it. He just doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know how to engage in the conversation outside of saying, hey, I need something. I think he's learning it though. I think he's tried to get a little better over the last year or so.
Mhm.
It hurts that he misspells my name. It hurts that he doesn't remember my birthday sometimes.
Yeah.
Not that I'm even like, not that I care, but it hurts that you text me on the 22nd and not the 21st.
Yes.
Because, bro, if you're gonna forget, forget.
Forget. Don't
Yeah,
even text me at all.
it's fine.
It's fine.
But don't go hard on the 22nd. Hey, girl, happy birthday, and spell my name wrong, baby. I'm your sister.
Right.
I'm your sister. We're
Right.
not distant relatives.
Right.
So those little things hurt my feelings. And the fact that in his adult life, you can't really be too mad at him for
Oh
being,
yeah. No.
young and
Yeah.
whatever, silly. But even as an adult with his own family, that up
Mhm.
to now, sometimes he will only call if he needs something. And it's just like, did you, what actually adds to the hurt is because there are times when I put my switch on for people because of who you are to me. I don't always feel like sitting on the phone. I don't always feel like answering. I don't always feel like talking.
Yeah.
I'm not always in the best mood, but that's the
Yeah.
disposition. It's the pill I got to swallow because people are used to me being like this.
Yes. Mhm.
So when I go the extra and I dig deep and I'm like, hey, brother, how you doing? This and the third. Yo, can you send me this and that? I'm like, damn. So you ain't gonna even ask me how I'm doing. We're not
Right.
close enough for you to even sense that something is wrong with me, that I'm like hurting inside, right?
Right.
Like you don't
Right.
have to be older than me to be caring and concerned and ask me how I'm
Mhm.
doing.
Mhm.
But as we gotten older, I'm just like, so this is just how it's gonna be. You really just don't care about people outside of what you need. And while I don't believe that to be true, I think he does really care about people. I just think he struggles to express it. I think he's
Yeah.
super sensitive.
Yes.
And I think he is doesn't like getting his feelings hurt, so he can't have those difficult conversations. I don't think it's intentional. So I try to remember that when in my moments I'm just like,
Yeah.
can you call me just to say hi? Can you call me to like talk to your nephew? Or,
Right.
like I call you just to say hello, check on you and your family and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I try to give grace in that space because I can imagine how hard it may be for him. Because he may feel like the oddball out.
Mhm.
We all have, our own perception, but yeah, it hurts. It
Yeah.
stings. It stings.
Yeah. I think like you said, when like you're hurt, I think I've noticed that as the years gone on, as we've gotten closer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's till this day kind of hard for me to approach it. And I'm like, I don't know what reaction I'm gonna get. Versus like your friends, they're like, I'm here, I'm at your door. I'm like,
Yeah.
whereas us as the family, we're just like, no, we'll give her some time.
Yeah. Jamel's like that too. Jamel, when I've gone through my things over the last couple of years, Jamel will call and be like, all right. Because he's a guy, right? So he's
Yes.
like, all right, I'm here. But I'm gonna give you your space, right? But that is him saying, I hear you, I feel you, I see you, I
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah.
If you need anything, you better call me.
Mm.
This is the most I can do right now because I don't even know how to approach this situation.
Yeah.
Like I know you're hurting and I love you, but I gotta give you your space.
Yeah.
But there were times, when I went through the last couple of years, even my friends, they stayed away from me for a couple of weeks.
Mm.
Oh yeah, Brand one time, I don't think we spoke for like 3 weeks. So she just my hurt, my pain, what they knew I was going through, really
Yeah.
hurt them.
Yeah.
Um,
You just don't know what to say.
I think there were several close people around me who were like, "Yeah, no," I had to take that to God and be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And it hurt them to the point that they were like, "I don't even know what to say to you. I give me time."
Mhm.
And so when they did finally call, I think matter of fact, I had to call her after a couple of weeks, like, "Hey, girl," and she was like, "Because I wasn't gonna call you." Why? She was like, I wasn't
Right.
gonna do it. So I get that when you say, I know you see it, but I also know who you are, and I know that that's a hard space to be because I feel like you're sensitive to the point that once the wells start, they're not gonna shut off.
Mhm.
So you'll see that I'm hurting, and you'll
Yeah.
see like something's happening. You'll be like, okay, then you're gonna take a nap, and then I'll call you later, and then you'll go cry in your car. Because I feel like if you sit on the phone with me and cry, it's not gonna stop.
Yeah.
Like I feel
No.
like it's just gonna be a water. You're just like, and then what you'll do is you'll probably go tell Judy,
Mhm.
go
Call
Juju,
you. I've
call,
I've done it.
go call
Call
Crystal,
Crystal.
go call her. You have a conversation, report back to me, and then I'll follow up with something else. But you started off. I see it. I can tell when you recognize that I'm not okay
Yeah.
because you're just like,
Because it hurts my
I
feelings. So
know
I'm
it
like,
does.
oh my God, I want to fix it.
I
I
know,
want to
I
make her
know.
laugh. She's not in the mood to
She's
laugh.
I know, I
I'm
know.
like, all right.
It was like after I had Weston and I got sick and I had to go. I got sick. And you were like, all right, I'm gonna be back tomorrow. And you went
I
in the car and
laughed. Yeah.
cried.
I cried. I sure did. I did cry in the car
Because
on my way
you
home.
were like, what the hell is happening
Because
here?
you were trying to breastfeed. It just was not agreeing with your body.
No. Is that
And
oh
I literally, you just weren't feeling it. And
no.
if we started in the baby's room, we went to your bedroom, and I just knew
I got
you was down and out. You covered your head. I said, yeah.
them shakes and chills came over me. I was like,
I was
oh
nervous for
my
Raymond. I
God.
was like, is he gonna be okay to handle her? Because I need to stay here. And then you were
Yeah.
like, Jordan, I'll see. I said, all right, I'll go. I'll
Yeah,
go.
I was like, I'll see you tomorrow. It's okay, because I too many people standing over me, looking at me, worried. It's just gonna make me erupt too. Be like, all
Right,
right, well,
right,
we all just
right,
gonna be here sad. And Raymond would be
right.
like, okay, who's not gonna cry so we can take care of the baby? Because he's not gonna cry. I've only seen that man cry once. He's not gonna cry, but he's going to stand firm and
Yeah,
do
of
what he
course,
needs to do.
of
So
course.
no, I know. I feel your heart.
Yeah.
I feel your heart, even when you're just like,
hmm
all right, that's what we doing. I get it.
Oh, our legendary resting face.
Baby. Baby.
Thank you to our father. Well,
Yeah.
thank you to both my parents. I'll say Judy too.
Yeah.
Judy gives a nasty look too.
Oh well, you already know how Alethea gives it up for the 99s and the 2000s. My mother is like, baby, it's RBF. It's I'm gonna say what I gotta say.
She's like,
It's
and what? And what?
and come on, you want to tussle? Let's go.
Oh boy. I love our family.
Yeah.
Also, as we have our family, we have loving in laws,
Mhm.
a soon to be in law, and in laws who've been with us for
Yeah, our sister-in-law.
time now.
Yeah, and I don't even know how long her and Jamel been together.
I would just
Um,
say almost 18, almost 20 years, including dating and marriage.
yeah, dating and marriage. Okay, almost 20 years. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's interesting. I think now I would say over the last 5 strong years, 5 to 7 years, maybe no longer than 5 years. Well, 7. I don't know. We have gotten or been much closer than before. Her and I, like, we can just have conversation. Like, I think we've always had conversation. We probably not need to have Jamel around.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely over the last couple of years, got much closer than now in the last several months with Weston. Um, it's not even about closeness. She also has an obsession with my son. That's why it's just so special that he's so loved.
Yes.
But yeah, my sister-in-law, baby, she snatches the baby out everybody's arms.
Her children too.
I don't think she sees there's a problem with that. I think I mean, like, you know, that's a problem that you taking that baby out them kids' arms, right? Like, let them kids hold their cousin.
Right.
She's like, no, give it to me. You don't
She'd
know
be
what you're
like, all
doing.
right, he's crying.
You don't know what you're doing. I'm like, so you just gonna hurt your kid feeling in the
I'm like,
process?
catch it, he's fine.
Nah, she has an obsession. No, the dynamic. You know what? The dynamic is interesting because it's cultural too,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I like it. I like it. I mean, I didn't think I would be as close as I was to her family, right? Like, I
Yeah.
look forward to seeing her family for Thanksgiving. I adore her dad. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I it's so it's interesting. I don't know if I told you that Thanksgiving. Well, the Thanksgiving that I was pregnant. So last Thanksgiving, 2022. First of all, first of all, you're not gonna do that. I wasn't even gonna talk about that.
I know, but it was so crazy.
So I was pregnant in 2022. Oh my God, for Thanksgiving. And I hadn't told the family yet. So I was still keeping it like a secret because we've been down this road before. So I was just trying to, like, wait until we hit the 3 month or 4 month mark, whatever, if I tell
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Baby. ah, baby. That Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
I was so sick. I was so sick. My first 3 or 4 months with Weston,
Listen, everybody was on their P's and Q's, okay?
I was so, but
It was scary. It was scary.
I threw up about 3 or 4 times. Every time I tried to eat, I kept throwing up. I kept sneaking off into the bathroom, throwing up. And for all the people out there, sometimes you throw up, you pee. So it was, I went up because
Okay, go ahead.
sometimes you throw up, you pee. So, then we started eating dinner, whatever, and I had to throw up again. So I didn't want to go to the bathroom that was on the first floor because I knew everybody would hear me. So I went upstairs, a little more privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, I'm going to throw up. And then I was peeing on myself. And I kept throwing up and I kept peeing
Right.
to the point where I was fully drenched. I destroyed the bathroom. I destroyed it. I had to take my undies off.
What's crazy is nobody really noticed you were gone that long.
No, I was gone for a minute.
Yeah.
Because I was collecting my thoughts. Because I was like, so it wasn't just the act of throwing up, peeing. It was
Right.
then cleaning
Right.
up and
Right.
then sitting there and collecting thoughts. Like,
Right.
what just happened? How
Mm-hmm.
am I going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And this was a Thanksgiving I wore jeans. So for
I
the ladies
did.
out there, don't be wearing we don't wear jeans with no undies. That's
Right.
just who
Right.
does that? And if you do it, stop.
You're nasty.
Don't do it no more.
It's gross.
It hurts. So I had to take off my undies, find somewhere to put them, right? Like find a plastic bag. Thank God Keji had a plastic
So
bag in there.
underneath the sink, yeah.
So I put them in a plastic bag, and now I got to find somewhere to put it. So I roll it up real tight, tuck it
Right.
like in the bra. I tuck everything in the bra because when you double D's up here, people don't notice you got extra
They
stuff
don't
tucked in it.
know. They're just like, oh, okay.
Just you.
It's just
So I walk out, and I remember looking at Ray. I looked at my husband. I said, "Let's go."
it's crazy because I saw you do that. You were standing on the stairs. You're like,
Yes, I was.
and I didn't. It didn't click for me. I was just like, oh, they're leaving. Okay, like,
Yes, I was. I was saying I didn't even come to the bottom of the steps. I said, "Let's go." Like, say your goodbyes. And he was looked at me like, "What?" And when I passed him, I said, "I have no underwear on. I just ruined everything upstairs. Let's go. I cannot sit down in these jeans.
Yeah,
They were tight, skinny jeans.
yeah, I remember. I think you guys had on red shoes too. Was that
No, that was many moons ago.
But yeah.
So anyway, the point is that the family was aware of my prior year losses with pregnancy, my miscarriages, and then so this year, that 2022, Mackenzie, our niece, gave out little gifts for everybody, and it was
Yeah.
like the praying gift, you say a
Little
prayer
dolls.
doll, and you
Yeah.
put it on your pillow and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And so it was very emotional because I was like, oh, I know what I'm praying for. And I remember
Yeah.
walking, like saying my goodbyes, and my in-law, like my sister-in-law's dad, said, listen, I got you in mind. Like he looked at me and said,
Well, as Mackenzie was handing out the dolls,
yeah,
and she was talking to you, or she
yeah,
was handing you, we all were like, and then Kreger said it, like, we all know what we're praying
we're praying
for.
for. And it just that it touched me in a way that was like, oh yeah, I definitely gotta go.
Yeah.
Because I'm emotional, I'm wet, and I don't feel good. So
As
triple
she's
threat.
trying to eat, I'm like, are you pregnant yet?
Oh yeah, as I'm trying to eat, you like, yeah, so you pregnant? And I was like, Raymond said behind you like, because if I would have said yeah, that would have caused an eruption at that table.
Yeah.
So I didn't
It would have
want
been too much.
it would have been too much. I didn't
Yeah,
want the big
overwhelming.
moment. I wanted the one-on-one.
Yeah.
So very interesting Thanksgiving that I had to tell everybody afterwards when I did let them know. I was like, Keji, so wash your wash your little rugs in there. I think I hit the toilet each time, but wash. You might get a little throw up on there or something. You know what I mean? Because
but yeah, like having an in-law, we obviously consider Keji as basically a sister. I don't think if we had to explain it to other people, we would obviously say sister-in-law. But if we're talking,
I call her sis. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I call her
we
sis.
had to explain it in depth.
Yeah,
then be like, oh yeah, this is my brother's wife, or
I don't think it needs that much explanation.
I have to explain it to people.
I mean, she's white.
They don't know that. When I say Keji, they don't know that.
Oh, I thought you mean like if y'all were just standing next to each other.
Oh no.
Oh, but say
when I explain it when she's not around.
Oh, okay.
Why'd you take it there? Okay, all right. I thought you missed it. You missed the mark.
I thought you were saying like, oh, I have to explain to people like when we're around each other. I'm like, yeah, I call her sis, but yeah, like
when we're not around each other,
yeah,
I have to say like, oh yeah, my
brother's love, yeah.
But when I'm saying,
yeah, everybody I talk to know Keji by first name,
right?
I'd be like, yeah, my sister. They'd be like, oh, well, because I say baby sis, Keji I say sister-in-law, but I just say name now. Everybody just knows who Keji is.
But when you say Keji, at least for me, when I've said Keji, they don't know that she's white. I have to explain it.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that that's a problem. Obviously, she's been with us for like 20 years. So.
Now we just made this about race. Sorry. It's not.
We might cut it out. It's okay.
You might have to cut that out. But she's white.
She is white.
Because I was like, no, I really thought you were like, people were like looking at y'all saying, oh, you're not sisters.
The one Thanksgiving I brought an old boyfriend, and I was like, Keji. Like, regardless if the kids are light skinned, there's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
variety of,
And he just didn't know.
he didn't know. I was like, well, I said catchy. He's like, what the hell does that mean? I was like, oh, well, because she opened the door and he was like,
Right. Now to that point, I never describe Keji as whatever her
yeah.
race is. I just talk about Keji as my sister-in-law.
My sister-in-law.
Yeah, so everybody knows Keji. Yeah, that's very true. Because I think at my baby shower, when all my friends finally saw her, they were like, "Oh, where's your brother's wife?" I was like, "You were just talking to her, Keji," and they were like, "Oh, okay."
See?
I was like, "Yeah, Keji." So I was like, "Keji, Keji," and they were like, "Oh, that's Jamel's wife," and I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay." Nobody, yeah, because we
Yeah.
never talk about it, but they know her by name.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
we just say catchy.
apparently so do her coworkers.
Which is a problem because
Yeah,
it should be Catherine.
they need to stop calling by her family name.
To also talk about in-laws, we do have a future in-law, sister-in-law.
Baby,
Oh, the way you looked at me like deer in headlights.
confusion.
Who?
Who you talking about? Who you talking about? Baby, cause like you've been New Raymond. I've been married almost 5 years.
I said sister.
I know. Then I started talking about his sister. I'm like, his sister? Raymond's sis?
Oh,
Baby.
okay.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. Our little brother, my little brother, her big brother, getting married.
Getting married
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah.
Um, she's quite the character. I'll say that. She's quite the character. Um, do you feel the need having in-laws coming in? Actually, no, because I was gonna say, do you feel the need having in-laws coming in to set boundaries? But I feel in-laws coming in should already know that there's boundaries. Because I was getting ready to ask that question, but it didn't make sense because I already knew the answer.
Okay.
You should already know your boundaries as an in-law coming in.
Mm-hmm.
If there's already issues between personal family dynamics, why do you feel the need to jump around between family members who you already know have a problem with each other? Maybe they don't have a problem, right? They just don't care to speak to each other, or be on the same
Right.
in the same room with each other, same table, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, why do you feel? Because at that point, us being the family, you coming in, you're messy.
You look messy. I think you got to give some clarity to that. So, we talked about the war zone between our dad and your mom,
Right.
Juju, and so you know we just keep them separate, right? They're not together anymore, thank God,
Right.
and
Yeah.
everybody's moved on. But just like with a lot of marriages,
Yeah.
keep him away from me, keep type business. That's whatever. That's what
Right.
it is in our
We didn't,
family.
I'll say, yeah, true. We didn't luck out having the divorced parents who can, kumbaya and kind of,
Hell to the no.
yeah.
Ain't no kumbaya in there.
Right.
No. So, but it's fine. So yeah. So your point with the dynamic, she came in knowing that's not an easy relationship, and at
Yeah.
some points, I guess it feels messy, right? If at some points it feels like she calls one, calls the other, and
Right.
yeah, I guess it has looked like that. Playing devil's advocate again. Um, I feel like that's something that Jonathan has always done, right?
He's always
Uh,
pinned our parents against each other.
yeah, so I feel like that's something
Yeah.
he's always done from his teenage years and didn't break the habit too much into adulthood. Um, so you have to think about this, that she's seeing our family through the lens of Jonathan. She's seeing it through his eyes. He is the narrator
Mm-hmm.
because just like Raymond sees his family from what he sees, but he also sees it through my eyes, right?
Right. Right.
So her behavior, while still questionable, isn't super surprising sometimes, right? Because you're doing what Jonathan tells you to do, right? So think about this. Think about Jamel and Keji. Jamel will be like, Jamel's super last minute, right? Kind of unorganized sometimes. We're like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, whatever. Just call my sister and figure it out. Da, da, da. And that's what Keji does. Like
Mhm.
Keji will call us last minute about something, this and a third, because that's when Jamel told her to call us, right? Like she follows his lead in that regard,
Right.
right? She treats us with love and kindness and respect because that's how Jamel treats. She calls us. She's close with us because that's the tone and standard Jamel has set, that he is
Right.
close with his sisters and whatever the case may be. And I feel like if you sat down with, just like we're sitting down and we've sat down before and talked about our family dynamic, if you sat down and talked to Jonathan about how he feels about his siblings, about his perception about a certain thing, did he feel seen? Did he feel overshadowed? Does he
Mhm.
feel like the
Mhm.
oddball out? Does he feel loved by me? Right? I could
Mhm.
sit here and say my feelings are hurt because you don't remember my name. He could say my feelings are hurt because she doesn't call me. And I feel like they're all close and I'm not close, right? And I feel
Mhm.
like I'm just, they make fun of me or whatever the case. I don't know. That's her man, right? She may
Right.
have this little thing like, I defend my man. She's gonna believe what he say. But if Jonathan's like, oh well, call my dad and blah blah blah, or call my mom and blah blah blah, right? Like I feel like maybe she just follows his narrative. I also feel
Mm.
maybe it may be a little bit in her character too. I don't think I don't think it's intentional, but I think she should have a little more awareness, right?
Comprehension.
About what she chooses to say. Um, because I think people forget that everybody talks, right? And so
Right.
what you called Thomas about and talked to him, Thomas called and said it to me.
Right.
And I called and said it to you and Jamel. And we sent screenshots.
Right.
And
We
then
do.
you told Juju.
Yeah.
And then me, you, Juju, and Jamel had a conversation about it.
Right.
And then we were talking about it around Michaela. Michaela told her mama. Like,
Right.
like we just whatever. Just word travels.
See, my thing is like I think we had called Jonathan once to talk about like wedding, and he was
Stuff.
just like, I don't know, like I don't know what's going on. Be the man.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. Call Kia.
Right.
Okay. So Kia knows what's going on.
So we called.
We called Kia. We told her this is the table seating. You know you have to keep these two apart. You already knew that.
Well, she acts, right? We didn't tell her how to sit people at her wedding. We just said,
Right. Right.
you
She
know,
had brought it up.
right,
And we did make the statement. Well, you got to keep Judy and Thomas at separate tables.
right.
She said, "Oh yeah, yeah, I know, I
I know
know."
that, yeah, yeah. And then proceeded to call everybody in the family about where they should sit. Like, bro, didn't we just talk about this?
That's the point where I feel like it really wasn't Jonathan; it was you,
Possibly, yeah.
because you already knew that they shouldn't be at the same table.
Yeah. I think she was trying to have a closeness with everybody, right? I think she's planning a wedding. She always says she doesn't have sisters, right? She doesn't have sisters,
She has sisters; she's not as close with her sisters.
right? So she called Jonathan's sisters. She called his dad. I think she's trying to have a closeness with people and ask the questions and things like that. I don't think
Right.
she intended it to come off the way it did, but it did come off that way because how she worded things like, oh, so and so said they don't want to sit at this table. They want to sit at this table with this person, this and the
So
third.
and so said this person wants to sit at our table because we know she'll want to be with us.
Right. And it's like you don't have to share everything. And
Yeah.
it's not about secrecy. It's just use your head. You have
Yeah.
some sort of emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
emotional awareness, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
If somebody says to you, and we're the bad example because we're going to tell each other everything. But if
Right.
someone says to you about like another coworker at work, like, "Oh, sit next to me because I don't want to sit next to Bob. Bob, da 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 da."
Mhm.
And then Bob comes over and he's like, "Oh, no." I'm like, "Oh yeah, Bob, no, you can sit over there. That's fine." Like you're not going to tell Bob, "Oh, Jerry don't want to sit next to you because you smell like ham and cheese," right? You're just not
Right.
going to repeat
Right.
the
Right.
conversation. You're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Bob, no, you can sit right there. I'm a,
Right.
whatever." You're just going to keep it light. You don't have to repeat everything,
Right.
and it's a little bit of intelligence, common sense, right? And I
Yeah.
think her repeating everything or saying things then caused dad to get his feelings hurt or him to get his feelings a little bit, thinking that his kids don't want to sit at the table with him.
Right.
So then he calls me and I'm like, no, that's not what was said at all. I don't care where I sit. I was just saying like, you and Juju need to be separate. He's like, I'm cool. I don't care. I said, I understand that, Thomas.
Yeah.
Juju need to be separate from you. That's fine. We still gonna have a good time. I'm gonna be mixing and
Right,
mingling with
right.
everybody, right? Like, it's not a big deal. I feel like you can keep the peace in everything that you do.
Yeah,
And if there's too much chaos around you, look in the effing mirror. If there's too much mess around you, 24/7,
yeah,
wedding or not, look in the mirror.
yeah.
So you may be the cause of your own drama. Because, baby, listen.
The joy of gaining sibling in laws, I'll say, or
Yeah,
in laws. Um, you know.
I think she's nice, though. I think
No,
she's
she's.
good for Jonathan.
I think. Yeah, we've always said that she's good for Jonathan.
Yeah, I think she's good. She love her some Jonathan, baby.
Somebody does.
I
Somebody does.
rudeness. That's a good feeling to know that my brother's loved. Like somebody like loves him
Oh
and
my
wants to be
gosh.
with him. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Wants to take care of him, or they take care of each other.
Mhm.
That's nice. Everybody deserve a little somebody. And they happy. And they got the two babies, two kitties.
Yes.
So it's a good thing. I'm excited to go to the wedding though.
I'm excited for the wedding. I'm excited to get
Yeah,
dressed up and be
me
with
too.
family.
Yeah. Depending if I'm pregnant or not.
Well, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed I'm pregnant. I would just like to drop it low one time. So
With the bumper.
with or without, depending on how pregnant I am, I may not be able to get too low because I gotta
Okay.
get back up. But I would like to just like bust a little two step.
Right.
I would love to have a little glass of champagne. But speaking of which,
You do have your glass back here. You
baby,
haven't sipped at all.
baby,
You poured it and haven't sipped it.
baby, let's see, and that's a damn shame. This whole conversation
We're
sober.
already at an hour.
Mm.
Hour and 5 minutes.
Oh, you can cut it and do two parts, and you could go to the next topic if you want to keep talking. You can maybe do 20, 30 minutes on a new topic. That way you have like at least 3 episodes.
Yeah. I had travel as the
You could
next
probably cut some
episode.
of that out too because we call it Catchy White.
I'll figure it out. Okay.
Yeah, you figure it out.
You also said it too, so shut up.
You figure it out. Because I said, but she's white. And you were like, why'd you take it? Baby, that's my sis. I love my sis.
We love our sister.